Hello everybody, welcome back. I hope you all are having an amazing day. It is now episode 8. Last episode we covered a little guessing game. If you haven't seen that already, go check that out. But in today's episode we're going to be covering, which I'm sure you've all been waiting for, slash commands. If you don't know what slash commands are, they are extremely useful and insanely important for a lot of reasons. I'll go ahead and just show you an example of a slash command. I went ahead and created a test one, but if you use this slash and then whatever your command is, so instead of having a prefix like for example dot exclamation point question mark like how every single bot was beforehand, now we can have a slash command which you can see commands matching, and then when you run that command you get an output from it. So I'll explain more in depth as to why this is really important and extremely beneficial that we can use slash commands, but yeah, I'll dive into that later on. But with that being said, hope you guys are all having an amazing day, and let's jump right into the code. Like I said, we are on episode 8 now, so if you guys are enjoying the series so far, please make sure to comment down below what you'd like to see, subscribe, and like all the videos that you enjoy. Yeah, I'm looking for new ideas always, so let me know any ideas that you'd like me to cover. I've already got some ideas from some of you guys that I'm going to be covering soon. My Discord down below has a good community that I'll be able to help you there also if you need help with your code. Yeah, let's jump right in. So how do you make a slash command? So there's a lot of different ways to make slash commands. As soon as slash commands were introduced, you saw a lot of these developers make their own libraries and their own packages that allow you to make slash commands. If you've tried to make slash commands before, you've probably seen the Discord-UI package. I think there's even one called Discord.ui. There's a bunch of different packages that allow you to use slash commands, but the best thing to do is always to go through the actual Discord package. So the actual straight off the Discord.py documentation, you see they have their own Discord.interaction, and this is what I will be using. It's always best to go through that if you can, because you're making a Discord.py bot, so if you can use this and instead of an external package, it's always best to do that. So how do we do that? So the first thing that we need to do is I'm going to make it easiest for you and create what's called a command tree. And pretty much this tree, think about it as like a big umbrella that's going to hold all your commands. So you need to create this tree that will hold all your commands. And in order to do that, we need to go inside of our onReady and we need to sync all the commands. So if you actually go over to the interactions API reference or the documentation, and we control F tree, we can see this command tree. If we just click over here, we can see we can create a command tree, and you can add command, get all the commands, and inside all this tree you can do a lot of this different stuff. Excuse me. But the main thing that we want to do is this async sync, which will actually sync the application commands to Discord so we can create commands as much as we want, but we need to actually sync those to Discord under that tree, if that makes sense. And you can see this must be called for the application commands to show up. So you can create as many as you want, but this needs to be called. So let's go ahead and do that to start off with. So in our onReady, like I said, we're going to do await client dot tree dot sync, and then you just put open parentheses, and that'll sync all your commands. That's all you need. But I'm going to go ahead, and since this is inside of our onReady, I'm going to add to our print statements, and that'll actually say, because sometimes it takes a while to sync all these commands, so we're going to put a print statement that says commands have been synced and how many commands are synced. So if you watched episode 2, I think it was, with the onReady function, this should just be an extension of that. So we're going to say print prfx, and I'm just copying what's above. So I'm just trying to make our console a little pretty. You can skip past this part if you don't want to do this. I'm literally just printing some information. So we can say slash commands synced plus 4.yellow plus we want the we're going to put how many commands are synced, so we're going to do the len of this. So when you sync, it should say here, it returns a list of all the commands. So then what I can do is I can set this to a variable and say synced, which will store that list of all the commands that have been synced, and we can say the len of that list is how many commands we have. So the len of synced, and this is going to return integer, so let's just put this into a string. The len of synced plus commands. So this should print, once all the commands are synced, it should say /command synced in, I'll go ahead and just run this so you can see. It'll say /command synced and then say a number and then commands. Right now we don't have any commands, so it'll say /command synced 0 commands. Once we start adding commands, that number will obviously go up. Yeah, there we go. Like I said, and like the documentation said, you need this command to be able to, for the commands to actually show up on Discord. So let's go ahead and make some of these commands that we already have from the previous videos into /commands, and it's really easy. So instead of this decorator that we're using at client.command, which creates a normal command using a prefix, we're going to change this to say at client.tree.command, and then remove this aliases, because we don't need aliases anymore because there's a / command. And we can say we have to have a name of the command. So this name in this case is shutdown. See right there. And then we can have a description, and I'll show you where that goes. And here's all the documentation for it. And it's also where is it at? What am I doing? Trying a command. Should be this. So we can pass name, description, and all this different stuff. We don't got to worry about that. Client.tree command right here. This one. So it's all stuff you can pass a name, description, and that's usually just what I pass in. So name and description. Description, we can just say shuts down the bot, and I'll show you where this is displayed. And then you need an async def shutdown. And then so basically the big, and not even really a change, it's just what you're changing. Before, when we had CTX all over, now we're going to have just the word interaction. So we're going to replace CTX with interaction, and we're going to pass this as a discord.interaction. And so that is now our CTX statement. So anywhere you see CTX, you're now going to replace with interaction. And then some of the documentation is a little bit different. Oh wait, let me make this lowercase. Some of the documentation is a little different. It's not just interaction.send. If you go back to interaction, you can read into this. But you can see it says interaction, where is it at? Dot response. And then it's interaction.response, which makes you say send message, and that's how you send a message. So a response will respond to the command run, and I'll again show you what this all means. So you're going to go interaction.response.send_message. And then this is going to be the content. If you go to send message, it takes in content, and this is how you can send embeds, you can send file. This is just like the ctx.send command, but just formatted a little differently. And then instead of client.close, it's going to be, or actually no, that'll work. That'll work fine, yeah. So yeah, I think that should be the whole command. So we synced the command, and we created the command. Yeah, that should be everything. Unless I'm missing something, that should be the whole command created, and we should be able to see it on Discord. Let's hope I didn't mess anything up. Nope. And as you can see, if we go down to our console, you can see /command synced, and now we have one command because we created the shutdown command. Let's go over to Discord, and let's do /. And don't worry about, I have another raffle bot in here, but over here on the left-hand side, you should see a new icon pop up, which is YouTube test. And there you go. Now we have the shutdown command. And this is the description that we put in, shuts down the bot. And if we press on it and we press enter, as you can see, it responded to me and it said shutting down the bot. And it said send when you shut down. And as you can see, unless there's an error. No, okay, the bot did shut down. It just hasn't updated yet in Discord, but this bot is offline. And to prove it's offline, I can do .help. Or I could even try running the command again. And as you see, it won't respond. It'll say the application not respond or something like that. Yeah. So as you can see, that command did work, and that's the very easy way to convert any command into a / command. So I'm quickly going to run through very fast how to convert all these commands into / commands. It shouldn't be too many. One, two, or actually I can just do .help and see how many commands I have. let's see, dot help. There's 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7 commands, and I'll just quickly convert all those into slash commands. So yeah, I'll be back when that's done. So as I'm going through the user info command, I do just want to mention two things. So for the timestamp, how we made the timestamp say when the message was created at, and we can quickly just show you that. If I do that user info, you see today at 8:54 a.m. I'm going to quickly change all these to something else, and I'm going to change it to the datetime package, which is datetime.datetime.utc-now, and you can put this in whatever time zone you want. But this will give you the exact same thing. It's just, so there's no, I don't know how to word this, but when you send a response from a slash command, if you just do, I said to replace TTX with interaction. So before it was ttx.message.created at, right? If I just replace this TTX with interaction, this interaction.message.created at is going to call this message actually refers to the message that was used to call the command. So this slash shutdown, and that isn't actually a message, right? So if I do interaction.message.created at, it will give you something, but it'll return none type, because there isn't actually a command. But anyway, that's an explanation that isn't really needed. Just know, change it to datetime.datetime.utc-now, and now that you changed it, you need to import datetime. It'll give you the exact same thing, but it's just easier to work with. And you can see now it's working. And the other thing I wanted to mention is, like, for example, here as well, you're just going to have to read up the documentation and see what it tells you. Because if I change this to interaction.message.author, I don't think this will work either, because like I said, message will give you none type. And I'll quickly just show you that now. Let me change this to, I'll stop talking about it and show you that. So interaction.message.created_at, and then let me run this to actually show you that it should give you none type, and if it doesn't, I'll feel dumb. Let's see. So if I do /userinfo, oh, and it hasn't synced yet. Hold on. Okay, there we go. We have the user info now. We have the user info command now, and and we can pass in a member if we want. And so yeah, I can go ahead and show you that real quick. So before, when we would pass in like CTX and we pass in three parameters, those parameters are converted into these, which make it a lot easier, because inside of each so there's that one video where I explained that each parameter is split on a space, but now they're not split on a space. They're split within like little text fields. So I can put in whatever I want into this text field. I can even use spaces inside of here. And then when I go outside of that, that's what creates a new argument, which is really, really useful to have that division. So yeah, this is now a new field that we can put whatever member we want inside of. And as you can see, when I do /userinfo, it says +1 optional. And the reason why it's optional is because I put member is equal to none. So I can run this command right now and it'll still work, but obviously it won't work because of the none type that I explained. So as you can see, if you go back here, it says none type has no attribute author, because I'm trying to take interaction.message, which is, there is no message because it was run through a slash command, if that makes sense. So what you have to do in this case is, if you read the documentation, if I go back to interaction, let me just go to this side, interaction. So you need to go interaction.user, and then you can do whatever you want from that. So interaction.user, and that is your author. That's run this. And then for this one, like I said, datetime.datetime.utc-now. And there you go. Now the command should work, because those are the only two issues. Let's go ahead and run this. All right, let's go ahead and try it now. /userinfo. And there we go. We get a slash command that gives us user info. And I guess while we're here, I can go ahead and mention something else with the send message. And if we go back to documentation, if we go up to interaction, we go just like I did the first time, response, and then click on interaction response, and we get send message. And it's all the stuff you can do with dot response. You can edit a message, you can send a message, send a modal, whatever. So go to send message, and you can see all the stuff inside of here. So this should all be the same from ctx.send. The only difference is that we have this ephemeral. I don't exactly know how to say it. It's kind of a weird word, and I honestly don't even know what it means. But what this is, I'll go ahead and just set this to true. So by default, it's false. If I set it to true in one of our send messages, you'll see what happens. So ephemeral is equal to true. And you might be able to guess what happens just if you know anything about slash commands. But if we go back over to Discord and we do /userinfo, now it is a hidden message. You see it says only you can see this. So to other people, if I were to go on my other account, he would not be able to see any of this. It's only visible to you, and you can press dismiss message and it deletes it. So if that's something you want, you can completely implement that. Very easy, just ephemeral, or if that's how you say it, equal to true, and that's how you get that. But yeah, I'm going to go ahead and, like I said, make all these back into slash commands. Sorry, I kind of got carried away, but let me go ahead and do that. Okay, so I just finished changing all into slash commands, except one, and I'll explain that in a second. Nice, I already have an error. What is the error? Oh, yeah, so that is one thing. I actually just forgot about that and remembered that. So all of the arguments that you take in, for example, in this example, we're taking, I cannot speak. In this command, we are taking an expression. And you need to always define it as a type, because other way or else the Discord does not know what data type you're entering. So it could be an integer, string, whatever. So you always have to put whatever you want. And in this case, the expression, I can just put it as a string. So choice is going to be a string. And I'm going to show you a way to make Coinflip better in a second. That's already set as an integer. This I didn't change to. This is the one command I didn't change, and I'll explain in a second. That's an integer. Okay, so now we should be good. Hopefully we don't get any more errors. And I'm sure not all of them will work, because I just changed like 7 commands into slash commands, so I doubt all of them will work. But if we do slash, we have all our commands here now. So let's try roll. What didn't work? Roll. There we go. Roll, and it should. There we go. Still rolls a dice. And if we put a max value, let's go. I'm just gonna test all these commands to make sure they work. Coinflip. We're gonna try heads. You guessed incorrectly. It was tail. So Coinflip works. What else? Guess with max 50. This one I might see some errors come through. It would make sense if this one wouldn't work. 20. Higher, 40, lower, 30. Okay, I gotta get it right now. 37, 39. That's where it's, okay, there we go. So that game does work. Perfect. Oh, and I do want to explain to you one thing. So as you can see, I used interaction.response.send message on the very first message, but after that, I did not respond to the message, and the reason for that is you can only respond to the message once, or else it will send you an error, and it'll be like, this message has already been responded to. So if I go to the guessing command, you can see I have that initial interaction.response.send message, but then all the other ones are interaction.channel.send, because interaction can take channel, and then obviously from channel you can channel.send or whatever. You've done that before. So you can only ever have one interaction.response.send message in a command. So make sure you take note of that. So that command works. What else do we need to test? Math, 50 plus 42 divided by 2 minus 5. There we go. Works fine. What else? No, click this. Roll dice. I did that. Server info. Go ahead and try that. There we go. Works fine. Shut down already tried. User info already tried. Okay, so all the commands work perfectly fine. let's go look at the one command I did not change, and that is the choose command. So because of our new what's the word? Im, wait, implement, like you implement something, implementation, is that a word? Whatever. Because of our new implementation of these arguments and how we use them, we can now, because this command, as you know, if you watch the video, is all dependent on arguments and splitting those arguments on the spaces. So now what we can do is we can take this on one or two different ways. All we can do is take in one argument. So let's go ahead and change this to an interaction command. So interaction as discord.interaction. And I've already set the name and description above. And then now change this to interaction. Let me just do this really quick. Okay, so if I just change all of this to be interaction, this should still work. And I'm actually just realizing now that I misspelled arguments. That must have been embarrassing. Let's go ahead and change that. So this should work. If you don't know how this command works, pretty much I would run a command here. It should still work with the prefix choose, and I would say this, that, this, or that. So it should choose one of these random 3 values for me to do. This, and please send a number. That must have been on, oh, it must still be on the guess command. Oh yeah, because I have 999 tries. Whoops. So it'll always say that, but don't worry about that. As you can see, if you ignore this message, it says thinking, and then it says this because it chose this. So that's how the command works. But how we can change this using the field box that it gives us with the interaction command, we can. So we have interaction, and then we have the args, and we can split the args. So this should still work. And then instead of just putting it all in one line, you'd put it all inside that box. Oh wait, I didn't put this, say client.tree.command. Whoops. Now it should work. You can see it's still only seeing 7 commands in the console because we didn't make this a tree command. Args is missing. Oh, yep, of course. Args needs to be a string. I guess technically being integer doesn't really matter. It just needs some type of data type. All right, so now we have choose. Inside the arguments, we can put this or that, and it should still work the same way, hopefully. And it didn't send it. Let's see what the issue was. None type is not to be edit. Okay, so I was able to fix it. And it looked like the problem was that it can't edit a message that's like, it can't edit a response message. So this dot response, that send underscore message of 2 can't be edited. Or maybe I'm just doing it wrong or something, but from what I saw, it couldn't be edited. But now we have this effect. So you can do 1, 2, 3. And then it'll think, and then it won't actually, you see it have that little like loading thing until it actually chooses the number or chooses the value. You see this or that, and it'll do the same for those words. There we go. So that's one way that you could do it. Or you're probably thinking we could also make multiple arguments and just not split it. So we could say arg1, and we have to find these as a data type, arg2 as a string, arg3 as a string, and then instead of so now we don't have to split anything, and so now we just do a random.choice. So we need to take a random choice from all these arguments. So we would say arguments is equal to a list that contains arg1, arg2, and arg3. And so now you're choosing a random choice from that list. And you'll see what this looks like in a second if this all works, which it should. But the only downside of this is you have a set amount of arguments. But if that's fine for your use, then that's completely fine. Looks like it hasn't updated yet. Let me wait for it to update. Hold on. Sometimes it takes a while to update the edits you've made. All right, so it's finally updated. It kind of took a while. It actually took a couple minutes. So yeah, now you can see we have these 3 argument boxes, and I can go ahead and show you what it looks like if one of them, like if you have a required value, because I showed you what it looks like when it's optional. But so I can say this, or, and as you see it says this option is required specified value. If I try to enter it, it literally won't let me, and it's actually shaking my screen. Let me go ahead and put that in. So it should work the same, and there we go, it chose that. So 2 different ways you can do it. You can add however many arguments you want. think there is a limit. I don't remember. I want to say the number 25 is coming to my head of how many arguments you can have. Maybe that's wrong. I don't know. But I'm pretty sure there is some limit. So that's the choose command. And one of the things is I want to show you how we can make Coinflip a better command. So beforehand, we were taking in a value of choice sent to string and then checking if that value that you put in is heads or tails, and if not, we would return error. But I wanted to make it where they could only give us heads or tails. So I'm going to put predefined choices. So in order to add the choices, what we're going to do is go and create a new decorator that says at app_commands.choices, and then we're going to pass in choices, which is going to be a list of our choices. So we need to create one app_commands.choice, which has a name and a value. So name is equal to, and one will be heads, and the value doesn't really matter. We'll just set it to heads as well. And then we're going to create another one inside of this list that is another app_commands. Oh, sorry, that C has to be capital. Forgot about that. App_commands.choice, and then we're going to have another name, which is going to be tails, and the value is also going to be tails. So this should work, I think. Oh, and then the last thing we need to do is change this to say choices, and then we're going to take in the decorator, which is app_commands.choices, and then we're taking in the list of the string, just like that. And there we go. We should be able to get rid of this, and that should be it. We can get rid of this else statement, and then I think that should be it. And I just changed a lot, but you should see the outcome of what I just did. Did I get an error? Function object is not subscriptable. What is the error? Okay, there we go. I've just fixed it. Sorry, I was getting really confused between the word of choices and choice. I was using them for kind of like two separate things, but this needs to be choices with a dot choice, and then inside of here we're checking for the choices dot value. Yeah, sorry, I was confusing myself, but you should see that effect in here now. So what's the command we're doing? Coinflip. So if I do .coinflip, and now you can see inside of the options, it only gives us two options. So we can't type something else because it's not a valid choice. We only have heads or tails. So if I do heads, as you can see, you guessed incorrectly, it was tails. So that's how we get this little display of options for this. Sorry that took me so long. I was confused myself with the terminology. But yeah, with that being said, I think we've now converted all our commands into choices. I've shown you guys the options, this little menu of options. I've showed you a lot of different stuff today, but hopefully that is going to help you guys on your way to creating slash commands. If you have any questions about any of this, leave it down below in the comments. I'll do my best to try to help you out. Also in the Discord, I'm most active there, so if you need any help, join the Discord and ask for help there. With that being said, I hope you guys have an amazing rest of your day. If you have any questions, like I said, leave them down below. Like the video if you enjoyed. Subscribe if you'd like to see more. This series will go on for a very long time. I plan to make a lot of videos on this. So yeah, that being said, I hope you guys have an amazing rest of your day, and I'll see you guys later. Peace out.